Let's head back to Georgia now. A very emotional courtroom today. Matthew Lanz is being sentenced. Matthew Lanz isn't in the courtroom. He's being sentenced for the horrible deaths of Justin and Amber Hicks back in November of 2021. The Hicks had just moved into their dream home with their 2-year-old son when they were gunned down in their home while sitting on their couch, just enjoying TV as their son had been put to bed, a 2-year-old. He ended up being alone for 12 plus hours when, after a welfare check, he was found he was covered in dried blood and holding onto his father's glasses. Wouldn't give him up. Now we're hearing the ramifications of these 2 lives lost without anyone sitting in the defendant's chair. It's open. Why? Because he waived his appearance and the judge allowed it. And so now the family doesn't get the satisfaction of being face to face and speaking their mind. But they're still speaking their mind and we're listening. Let's go back into the courtroom and pick up another taped audio statement. This is from another one of Amber's friends.
Good morning, Your Honor. My name is Amanda Creel. I originally wasn't going to speak today, but Wednesday during our break, I had an overwhelming feeling that I needed to talk to you today. I never imagined that I would be standing in a courtroom talking about my best friend and her husband, about how they were senselessly murdered and taken away from us. The people that have been sitting with me this week and the others over Zoom are some of the most important people in Amber and Justin's life. This week has reignited our pain, the pain that was caused by heinous actions of the defendant. Amber and Justin were my friends, but I've known Amber since the 5th grade. She was my best friend. I grew up with her. I was supposed to grow old with her. That was taken away from me. I could tell you countless silly stories about Amber and I. There were stories about homecomings, chorus, boyfriends, sleepovers, and breakups. And that was just 5th grade through high school. As we grew older, it was about college classes, jobs, boys, karaoke. But boy, could that girl sing. I would love to hear her sing in person again. Instead of through old videos, that's all I have left. Videos and pictures and memories. It was through Amber that I met Justin. The day Amber introduced Justin to me, she was nervous. But one spilled drink ended up being 10 years of a friendship with my Justina. That's what I called him sometimes. We actually went on a cabin trip, and I encouraged them to stop being stubborn and just finally say, I love you. And when they got engaged, she called me at work to tell me that they were engaged. Justin had forgotten to text me, so I missed it. I still bring it up to him when I go to visit him at his grave. I told him I would never let him live that down. My mom hosted their engagement party and helped me plan their wedding shower. We helped get decorations and favors ready for the wedding, and I got to see her try on her wedding dress. And when they finally got married, I was their maid of honor and stood by their side, crying with joy. That day was perfect. And then finally, one Christmas, I got a picture frame saying, best friends get promoted to aunts. She was pregnant with Jacob. We talked on the phone every day on our commutes to and from work during her pregnancy. And boy, was she feisty. I just knew he was going to be a boy. But I hoped one day she would be able to have a Disney princess too. I got to be there the day Jacob was born. I have so many memories of them. But no new ones, because they're not here anymore. They're gone now. I can't be there today, but Audrey and Michelle are there for me, for her dad, for our friends, for our little village. The 3 of us have been friends with Amber for over 20 years, and Justin for 10 years. We had to call each other about our friend's murders on November 17th, 2021. This devastated us. Our friends were gone. We spent days on the phone, constantly trying to try to understand how the horrible thing could happen like that to such amazing people. Amber and Justin had the best hearts and were so kind and loving. Why did this happen? How did this happen? We laughed and cried talking about them. We had to fill in for Amber, for one another. Our trauma and loss bonded us. We decided one day that we were trauma sisters and that Amber chose good people to be her friends. She chose us so we could have someone to lean on when she was gone, because somehow she knew we needed it. On November 17th, 2021, our lives were fractured into a before and an after. Before we had Amber and Justin, we had long conversations, hugs, singing, and dancing. We had plans together for dinner, birthdays, weddings, and Christmas. We had our lives together as friends and family. After we found out about their murder, all that ended. We were stuck with the after. They're never going to be able to talk to us again. No more hugs, no more singing, no more dancing, no more birthdays, no more plans, no more celebrations, no more Amber and Justin. Our friends are gone, shot and killed in their home. We had to move on without them. I got married without Amber and Justin by my side. I went to Michelle's wedding in their place. Audrey adopted two beautiful baby girls that we got to meet, but Amber and Justin will never meet. She will never meet my children. Our lives will never be the same because their souls were too good to be replaced. We will forever live with that hole in our hearts. The defendant didn't just take our friends' lives. He stole our sense of security. We now have lights, security systems, and fear. Fear for our safety, fear for of random noises, fear that we never had before this incident. On November 17th, 2021, Amber and Justin left their son because they were shot and killed while he was sleeping upstairs in his bed. Jacob was left alone for 12 hours, soiled and alone. But he will never be alone again, because every person in this courtroom will ensure that he has the closest thing to a life the defendant tried to take from him. He will never be an orphan. Your Honor, we ask you to sentence the defendant to the maximum sentence. This man deserves to stay behind bars for all the trauma and loss he has caused. We hope you consider our request when you make your decision on his sentence. Thank you for your time.
All right, keep coming. And again, the defendant not in the courtroom to hear all of this, which is really part of the equation in all of these cases. It's that opportunity after sitting there silent throughout an entire trial, you finally, as a victim family member, get to be face to face with the person that took so much away from you and just explain it to them. Well, it's not happening because Matthew Lanz isn't in the room. Sunny Slaughter's with us, law enforcement expert. Wow. First of all, him saying I don't want to be there and then the judge agreeing to it. Every case is different. I'm sure there's so many things that we don't know about, but I have seen where judges say, sorry, you have to sit there. It's part of the deal. Your thoughts?
Ted, it's great to be with you as always. Two things can be true at the same time. I believe in the Constitution, I believe in justice, and I believe that the judge made the decision constitutionally for him to protect his rights. And as someone who does a lot of defense work, that is how this is happening today. On the other side of that, as a human being, and as someone who has sat in the courtroom after a heinous murder of their family member, it is gut-wrenching to talk to an empty chair when you want to look in the face of the individual that did one of the most gruesome and heinous things that anyone could ever do, and for no reason except that they could and that they did. This is so painful. I'm trying to hold it together because as a victim's advocate, families have a right, or should have the right, to confront their accuser. They should have the right to look them in the eye. And the person, the murderer, the convicted murderer, should have to sit and be present for everything that they have to say. But for the grace of God, these individuals will hold one another up. They will hold 2-year-old Jacob up. And this case will not just be the end, but I think it is something that we need to study. I think there needs to be some changes made in how we hold these sessions and not allow defendants like him and Adam Montgomery and others not to be present. They were present for the murder. They should be present for the sentencing, and they should be present to hear the words of those whose lives they have changed forever.
Yeah, those victim impact statements are such. And it's interesting, during the verdict, he was stone-faced until the crowd in the gallery clapped and started to cheer when they thought that the session was over. And that's when we saw a tear come down his cheek, and he was visibly emotional. I think the ramifications of what had happened, the realization that all of these people were so happy that he went down and was found guilty on all 13 counts, I think that was interesting. And now he didn't want to be there. Well, no one wants to be there. No one. I mean, this is the worst day of the trial if you're a defendant and found guilty. This is, you could argue, as bad or worse than the verdict. What'd you think of Justin's father? Wow, forgave him.
Oh. When he said exorcism, I just put my hands to my chest. I was, he is presenting very strong. And I can't even imagine the pain that he must be feeling. It took me to my own 4 children. And to be honest, I am a woman of faith. But I don't know if I could just sit up there and say that I forgive the person so I could move on, because it took me more than 20 years to forgive the man who hurt my daughter. I couldn't do it. The only thing that brought me to it was I was angry, and I had to be angry, but I also had to keep going. And I understand that he has to keep going. He has to lead the family. I hope that he gets counseling. I hope the entire family, all of them, get counseling, because grief and pain of this nature, it can rest in your bones, even though the words that come out of your mouth say that you're going to be okay. He is a strong man, a man of faith. And I just wanted to wrap my arms around him and everyone in that courtroom right now. I want them to know that I love them. I will pray for them until I close my own eyes.
All right, Study Slaughter, well said. Let's get a break. When we come back, more. 3 friends of the Hicks family give a joint statement. Stay with us.
We had a
Welcome back to Court TV Live. Good to be with you on this Friday as we round out another busy week at Court TV. Today we're watching a very emotional sentencing hearing out of the state of Georgia. A judge deliberated for an hour and a half before convicting Matthew Lanz for the murders of an Ackworth, Georgia couple inside their home 4 years ago. Lanz chose a bench trial instead of a trial by jury. Sentencing for Lanz is happening this morning, and we've been listening to just gut-wrenching testimonials about how the death of these two have affected so many lives. And Lanz chose not to attend the hearing, so the impact statements are happening without him, an empty chair next to his defense attorney as the friends and family of the Hicks are pouring their hearts out. Let's go back in and listen to 3 of the Hicks friends giving a joint impact statements.
It's Michelle McGinnis, MICHELLE, MCGUINNESS.
Sorry, I'm Audrey Logan, AUDREYLOGAN.
Matt Logan, MATTLOGAN.
I'll start with Michelle. At this time, if you, or whoever wants to give one first.
I'll go first. Sorry, first. Your Honor, my name is Audrey Logan, and Amber and Justin were my husband and I's best friends. My husband, Matt, and I have known Amber for as long as we can remember. I'm talking elementary days when she refused to let Matt eat lunch alone and even shared her food with him. Not only did we attend elementary, middle, and high school together, but we played softball together for many years. We joke because I had a bad habit of being angry after striking out or getting out on base, and we come back to the dugout to sulk where she knew I didn't want to be talked to, but she'd always be like, "It's okay, girl, you got this." She was not gonna stand for me being in a bad mood or being too hard on myself. We became even closer after our high school days, though, and that's when she introduced Matt and I to Justin. I vividly remember that day because Matt's not a people person. He just isn't. He was so concerned that he was just going to be like everybody else and we would be biting our tongues all night. But the day they met at Patty's is forever ingrained in my brain. That's the day that him and Justin became inseparable. I truly never imagined the day that one day I would stand in front of a courtroom full of people and talk about 2 of my favorite people in the past tense. That I'd sit here hand in hand with some of their most favorite people reliving the absolute horror that happened on November 17th, 2021. Reliving a pain that has no end due to choices that monster made that night. My life will now always be separated into before and after. On September 17th, 2021, I went to bed excited for the weekend plans I just made with Amber this year at church. I hadn't seen her since Halloween night when we took our babies trick-or-treating together. After that, my daughter and I came down with RSV, so I kept my distance away from everyone. A few days earlier, she came to my house knowing she wouldn't be able to see me in the middle of her busy schedule just to leave a care package. That's the type of person she was. We were excited to be able to get back to church and see each other. The very last text that I ever received from her said Sunday with an exclamation point, because we knew we would see each other again in just 4 days. On November 18th, I woke up, planned to do some Christmas shopping, so I texted her to ask if Jacob had a Christmas list so I could get the stamp of approval on my gift idea. She never received that message, and I would never get a response. See, that was before my worst nightmare came to life, my best friends murdered in their home. Their lifeless bodies left in their home, their son confused why mommy and daddy won't wake up. He just left them there like they didn't matter, and like Jacob didn't matter, but they mattered. They weren't just our best friends. They were our daughter's godparents. They were our family. They came beside me and prayed for me, over me and with me during all the hardest parts of my life. Amber was my voice of reason, my confidant, and my biggest fan. And Justin was always there to make us laugh. and ground us when we needed it the most. They were in our wedding, and they were in ours. They were in our wedding, we were in theirs, sorry. We spent many weekends together, standing up entirely too late, watching any alien movie or silly Vine we could get our hands on. Then when our children came, we were at their births, waiting outside the door for the minute we could hold each other's babies and check on each other. We started to create our own traditions with our babies, like family vacations, pumpkin patch trips, and trick-or-treating. But you see, that was all before. Now, we're in the after. A big piece of my husband and I died that day too. So much joy was stolen from our lives, our innocence, our peace of mind. Our home is now lit up outside 24/7, surrounded by cameras monitoring every corner, every blind spot. Our life is full of ring notifications or Life 360 alerts. Any little noise in the middle of the night wakes us up and strikes.
Audrey Logan talking about her friend and the effect of it. We'll get a break and we'll have more of the victim impact statements from the state of Georgia. Those that lost Justin and Amber Hicks pouring their hearts out in front of a judge. Stay with us.
You have to punish him, you have to kill him for a few $100?
You don't touch fire and expect not to get burned. My goal is to embarrass you. My goal is to make you suffer. My goal is for pain. Make sure that you remember me for the rest of your life.
You weren't feeling any sympathy.
If I'm being honest now.
You kill a man for acting like a junkie when you the one turned him into a junkie.
Interview with a Killer season finale, Saturday night at 8 Eastern and Pacific, only on Court TV.
Welcome back. Before we head back to that Georgia courtroom, a quick update out of Florida, where the fate of Darrell Walker will soon be in the hands of a jury. The defendant here is accused of fatally shooting his wife, Sheena Levine, the day before Thanksgiving and then fleeing the scene. During closing arguments earlier today, the defense attorney painted the scene as a chaotic situation that just went wrong. Take a listen.
She got a phone call earlier that morning. She'd just gone to bed. She was finishing an English essay. Finished it right before midnight. She goes to bed, and she's awakened to a phone call from her father. And he uses a phrase that he uses throughout both the interview with investigator Wallace to describe his infidelity. He says, "I done." She grabbed the gun. She grabbed the gun. Just get here. He turned to his daughter, who he loves. And it's tragic that Mr. Walker didn't make better decisions that night. It is. But when Lyric shows up, he continues to say the same things. She grabbed the gun. She grabbed the gun. She grabbed the gun. She admits to being understandably panicked, and she said that she flipped out. These are all things Ms. Shea indicated. Did they have an opportunity to view the evidence, the opportunity to see what happened? They did, but you have to look at what that filter is, the chaotic nature of the situation.
We'll see what happens. The judge is instructing the jury right now. We'll take you into the courtroom as soon if and when we hear that there is a verdict on this Friday. Let's head back to Georgia now. We're watching the sentencing for this case against Matthew Lanz. And as we see every time, sentencing hearings are incredibly emotional because you are seeing the effect of the crime, the ripple effect, the people that were touched by these two, in this case, Justin Hicks and Amber Hicks. And this is a very difficult one. This is especially emotional. Why? Because they left behind a 2-year-old little boy who was found during a welfare check covered in the blood of his parents, holding on to his father's glasses with a catonic look on his eyes. That little boy now will live the rest of his life without his parents. And these people that we're hearing from today in this courtroom will live the rest of their lives without their friends and family members. The one person not there is the defendant. He chose not to attend, and that's his legal right. The judge allowed him to do that. But it takes something away. It takes something away from the victim family members that he didn't want to listen. Of course he didn't. Nobody wants to listen to this. Let's go in, though, and let's listen and listen and feel the emotion. We're going to get more from victim family members and, in this case, friends. Let's watch.
I can't even come home at night without fear that someone's watching my every move. And that's just how I feel. Imagine how Amber's dad feels or how Justin's parents feel. That type of fear never goes away. That monster took away our sense of security, even in our own homes. Now we're forced to live a life in a world that none of us asked or planned for. Amber and Justin never got to see our daughter Peyton, their goddaughter, start school, or see her passion for dance or cheer, or attend a recital, and they won't be there for any of the most important moments of her life. They'll never meet our other two daughters, Quinn and Brooke, who I know they would have loved beyond measure, and they would have taken them under their wing as any good godparents do, because they weren't just incredible parents, they were amazing godparents too, always loving Peyton as if she were their own. I needed them for all those moments, and I still need them for moments to come. I need them next to me in the row in church on Sundays. That's where their absence is felt the most. They may have always been a little late because Amber needed her Starbies, but Justin needed his Duncan, and they were going to get both. Always. But they were there, worshiping their Savior and praying for each other and others because that's who they were. They were believers. They are believers. Even though my last image of them at church is their lifeless bodies laying in their coffins in front of the altar, I know they're still worshiping beside me. It's just from heaven now. Yes, I know where they are and that I'll see them again one day because of their love for Christ, and for that I'm grateful. I sure could use an Amber hug right now. But this is not the life I planned for, or the life they planned for. On November 17, 2021, they tucked their son into bed and sat down for some well-deserved time together. Just 2 more days and the weekend would be here, their first full weekend together in a while. They had plans to decorate for Christmas and were so excited, decorating a big new house, a girl's dream. Then that monster decided to steal that from them. Why? And we may never know. But Your Honor, these 2 humans, Amber and Justin Hicks, were 2 literal angels on earth. It sounds so cliche, but it was the truth. Living their day to day, putting nothing but good into this crazy world, and that monster stole everything from them in less than 10 minutes. Everything from us and absolutely everything from Jacob in 10 minutes. Now they will never see Jacob grow up, go to school, start driving, get a job, get married, and start a family. They will miss every single moment of his life. And Amber lost her mom. After Amber lost her mom as a baby, this would have been her worst nightmare. Jacob to grow up.
Judge looking on and absorbing it all. Sonny Slaughter, this case, and she just referenced it, that 2 minutes, it's over. They've lost their friends. And we heard Justin Hicks' father say, I could get it. I get it if he stole something, if they knew each other, if it was a fight, a road rage. This was so senseless. And that makes it harder.
It really does, Ted. It really, this case begs the question why, which is something that we don't necessarily need to try murder cases, the motive, but I think we really need answers. And these are the types of cases that I think that we must study. These are the individuals that must be their criminology, the victimology, and the reason why they committed these type of crimes. Amber and Justin's lives cannot be lost in vain. And I think there has to be a way for us to figure out situational awareness could have never prepared them or any of us for this. Michael Mangina said this earlier, that this could have been any of us, and this could have been any of us. And we need to figure out why.
Well, as Justin's father said, he may not ever find out this side of heaven because it is so unexplainable. Sonny, have a great weekend. We appreciate you. Let's get a break. When we come back to Georgia for more. Stay with us.